Hogwarts Legacy gave us the feeling of walking around inside Hogwarts beautifully. But let's be honest, a lot of potential was still wasted when it came to the common rooms. The common rooms looked visually amazing, but after a while, for most players, they turned into beautiful rooms that we simply entered and left without being able to interact with much. That is exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. How can the common rooms feel more alive in Hogwarts Legacy II? How can the unique spirit of each house feel stronger? How can NPCs, events, minigames, the house point system, dormitories, atmosphere changes, and special quests make these areas truly feel like our home? In short, today we're going to talk about the most important changes and new features we, as players, want to see in the 4 common rooms in Hogwarts Legacy II. Gryffindor Common Room. The Gryffindor Common Room was one of those places that felt warm, nostalgic, and magical the first time we entered it in Hogwarts Legacy. The red and gold colors, the warmth of the fireplace, the portraits on the walls, and that classic tower atmosphere instantly made us say, yes, this is Gryffindor. But in the second game, a room that simply looks beautiful is no longer enough. As players, we want this common room to feel like a truly living, moving place that changes throughout the day and makes us feel like we are actually Gryffindor students. In other words, we should want to return here not just between quests, but because we genuinely want to spend time there. One of the most important things we want to see in the Gryffindor Common Room is a stronger sense of courage and friendship. For example, students gathered around the fireplace could tell each other adventure stories. Some students could talk about new quests, and others could come up with theories about the dangers happening around the school. When we enter the room, we should not feel like students are just standing around doing nothing. We should feel like they are truly a living community among themselves. If, after a quest, we return to the common room and students are talking about what we did, that would make the world feel more alive and give the player the feeling of, I left a mark on this school. Small dueling challenges for Gryffindor could also be amazing, because this house fits perfectly with courage, action, and the desire to prove yourself. Friendly spell practice could happen between students inside or near the common room. Someone could call us over and say, let's see if you're really as good as people say. These small encounters could work not just like mini-games, but like little moments that develop character relationships. If we win, some students could respect us more. If we lose, they could make small jokes. That way, the common room would not just be decoration, but the center of house rivalry and friendship. The celebration atmosphere should also be used much more strongly in the Gryffindor Common Room. If Quidditch returns, it would be perfect to see the room completely change after a match. Students could sing songs, there could be food on the tables, and victory speeches could happen by the fireplace. Even seeing a small celebration scene in the Gryffindor Common Room after achieving something big in the story would make the game's atmosphere much stronger. Because Gryffindor is not only a house that fights and acts bravely, it also represents friendship, unity, and experiencing big moments together. It is also important for the Gryffindor Common Room to feel more personal in the second game. For example, we should be able to see some of our belongings in our dormitory. Trophies we win, special objects we collect, or small memories left from quests could be added to our room. Students in the common room could also speak to us differently over time. Someone who does not know us at first could begin to trust us as the story progresses. Details like this would turn the Gryffindor Common Room from just a beautiful room into a place that truly makes us say, this is my home at Hogwarts. Slytherin Common Room. The expectations for the Slytherin Common Room start from a completely different place. In the first game, the Slytherin Common Room was already one of the most atmospheric areas. Being under the lake, the green lighting, stone walls, the feeling of water behind the windows, and that cold but noble look were truly impressive. But in Hogwarts Legacy II, this environment should not remain impressive, only visually. As players, we want to feel more mystery, ambition, rivalry, and the desire for power inside the Slytherin Common Room. When we enter, the feeling of everyone here is planning something should be clearly conveyed. NPC behavior in the Slytherin Common Room could be much more unique. Instead of joking loudly, students could speak in whispers. Some could seem like they are making secret deals in corners, while others could talk about family history, blood status, power dynamics within the school, or rumors of dark magic. When we walk past them as the player, conversations could stop, or some students could act distant before trusting us. These kinds of small details would strengthen the Slytherin atmosphere tremendously. Because the point of this house is not just being the house of villains, it is strategy, ambition, intelligence, and social power games. An internal house rivalry system could also work really well in the Slytherin Common Room. For example, some students could compete with us over academic success, dueling power, or who is more effective in secret missions. A Slytherin student could underestimate us at first, then begin to respect us as we prove ourselves through quests. There could even be small choices where more strategic, colder, or more self-interested Slytherin-style options open up. These choices do not necessarily have to be evil. They just need to make the player feel that they are inside a different house culture. Visually, the Slytherin common room should also be more dynamic in the second game. The feeling that we are under the lake could be emphasized more. Behind the windows, we could see fish, giant shadows, and maybe rarely even large aquatic creatures passing by. The lighting in the room could slowly change with the movement of the water. At night, the common room could feel darker, quieter, and more intimidating. Some portraits or statues could behave differently only at certain hours. Small atmospheric details like these could make the Slytherin common room one of the most unforgettable areas in the game. One of the biggest new features we want to see in the Slytherin common room is secret quests and special dialogue. For example, a student could give us a clue about a hidden room inside the school, another could mention a forbidden spellbook, and someone else could be hiding a dark secret about their family history. These quests could start inside the common room and extend into Hogwarts' hidden corridors, dungeons, or underwater secrets. That way, the Slytherin common room would not just be a place we return to, it would become one of the main centers feeding the mysterious side of the game. Hufflepuff Common Room. The Hufflepuff Common Room should have a completely different energy. In the first game, the Hufflepuff Common Room was one of the most comfortable, warm, and home-like areas. The earth tones, plants, round doors, its closeness to the kitchens, and that peaceful atmosphere were truly beautiful. But in Hogwarts Legacy II, this room needs to gain a stronger sense of life, because the spirit of Hufflepuff is loyalty, hard work, kindness, and community. That is why the common room should not just feel like a calm resting area, but like a real community center where students support each other. It would be really nice to see students building warmer relationships with each other in the Hufflepuff common room. For example, while one student is studying for an exam, others could help them. If someone is upset, their friends could comfort them. Some students could eat together or take care of plants. When we, as the player, enter this environment, we should feel a more sincere and safer atmosphere, instead of the rivalry or mystery of the other houses. The Hufflepuff common room should make us say, "Everyone looks after each other here." This would add not only action to the game, but also emotional warmth. For Hufflepuff, plants, magical beasts, and the kitchen side could be used much more. There could be small plant care activities in the common room, some students could talk about rare plants, and someone could ask us to heal a sick plant. Its closeness to the kitchens could also become more meaningful in the game. For example, small side quests with house elves, helping with meal preparation, finding special recipes, or organizing little celebrations for students could be added. These may not look as epic as huge battles, but they would make the feeling of being a student at Hogwarts much stronger. The Hufflepuff common room could also be a perfect center for small helping quests. A student could ask us to find their lost item, someone could be worried about a magical beast, and another student could suggest helping someone who is being excluded at school. Since the essence of Hufflepuff is loyalty and kindness, it would make a lot of sense for the quests that come from this common room to be more human, more emotional, and more community-focused. That way, the quests of each house would not feel the same. A Hufflepuff player would truly feel their house's values through gameplay. Visually, seasonal changes in the Hufflepuff common room would also be amazing. In spring, we could see more flowers. In fall, warmer colors. In winter, a cozier atmosphere. As summer approaches, more lively plants. The decoration of the common room could change as the school year progresses. Books left on tables by students, cookies, plant pots, notes, and small personal items would make the room feel more alive. Ravenclaw Common Room. For the Ravenclaw Common Room, player expectations are built more around intelligence, discovery, knowledge, and mystery. In the first game, the Ravenclaw Common Room was very impressive with its high tower location, blue tones, elegant architecture, and atmosphere close to the sky. But in Hogwarts Legacy II, this room should not remain just a place with a beautiful view. Ravenclaw is a house built on curiosity, intelligence, creativity, and different ways of thinking. That is why there should be details inside the common room that encourage the player to think, research, and explore. The riddle system could be used much more in the Ravenclaw common room. For example, some doors could only open when we give the correct answer. Some books could give us hidden clues, and symbols on the walls could be solved with a certain logic. Players might not only want to speak with NPCs here, but also interact with the room itself. A painting could ask us a question, a statue could open a secret passage, and a telescope could show special star alignments on certain nights. Details like these would make the Ravenclaw common room one of the smartest and most discoverable areas in the game. The behavior of Ravenclaw students should also match the spirit of the house. Some could have book discussions, some could talk about magical theories, some could plan astronomy observations, and others could come up with strange but creative ideas that the other houses do not understand. As the player, being able to join these conversations, or at least hear that atmosphere, is very important. Because when we enter the Ravenclaw common room, we should feel like everyone here is trying to learn something. The energy of this house should come not from action, but from curiosity, discovery, and intelligence. Mini-games and activities in the Ravenclaw common room could also be designed around this idea. Wizard's chess would work very well here, but not just as a classic game, it could be used as more challenging strategy battles. Alongside that, there could be magical puzzles, small quests coming out of books, completing astronomy maps, decoding ancient magical texts, or following hidden symbols. When players return to the Ravenclaw common room, they should not think only about resting. They should think that they may find new knowledge, a new secret, or a new puzzle. The biggest potential of the Ravenclaw common room is that it could become a center that opens the door to Hogwarts secrets. Quests that begin here could take us to the restricted section of the library, the astronomy tower, old classrooms, or forgotten parts of the castle. The room's high location could also be tied to gameplay. For example, we could find clues by looking outside from certain points, unlock secret quests by studying the stars, or watch the Hogwarts view from a special balcony area. In short, in the second game, the Ravenclaw common room should not just be a beautiful tower room, but the heart of knowledge, secrets, and discovery. So what do you think the common rooms should be like in Hogwarts Legacy II? Also, do you think features like sleeping, sitting, talking with NPCs, playing mini-games, and having a house point system that actually works should be added to the common rooms? Make sure to write your own ideas in the comments, because this topic could truly change the entire atmosphere of Hogwarts Legacy II. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new Hogwarts Legacy II videos. I'll see you in the next video.